on in. Hear what it said? All is welcome.
It's dirty and raggedy, but come on in. Oprah Winfrey has been tied to so many awful people.
Yep. Hey, young world. Y'all hear what it say? What happened to this lady? Right? And HECHE, or what is it? How do you pronounce it? HECHE? HECHE? I had it right the first time, but now I ain't got it right. But before I give my commentary, I just want to read a little bit about her, because I know y'all remember her and all that crazy stuff that happened, right? So, and Celeste, hey, how do you pronounce that? HECHE. I'm just say HECHE. May 25th, 1969 was her birth date, you know. And then August 11th, 2022 is when she passed. So she was an American actress, director, and screenwriter. She starred in television soap opera Another World. Now, I know y'all remember that. She's received a Daytime Emmy Award in 1991 and also in 2004. She was nominated for another Emmy Award and a Tony Award. She starred in many theatrical movies. She is best known for her roles in 1990s movies such as Donnie Brasco, 1997, Volcano, 1997, I Know What You Did Last Summer, 1997, 6 Days, 7 Nights, 1998, and Return to Paradise, 1998. As HECHE was beginning to establish herself in movies during the late 1990s, her career was negatively affected by her highly publicized same-sex relationship, and I know you guys remember this, with Ellen DeGeneres, right? This resulted in HECHE losing movie offers. Gatekeeper, that's what it sounds like to me, right, y'all? Okay, now I'm just now reading about this lady. I always knew who she was, but just me researching her, okay, because what happened to her is very strange, right? We're going to get into the video, but hold on. She later returned to having television roles such as Men in Trees, that was in 2006 and 8, Hung in 2009 and 11, Save Me 2013, so she was busy. Aftermath 2016, and the military drama television series The Brave 2017. She was also the voice of Suyin Binfong. Now, I don't know if I pronounced that right, but Suyin Binfong, all right, in the Nickelodeon animated television series The Legend of Korra in 2014. So she was very busy as an actress. We're going to get into it, y'all. Now, she was born in Aurora, Ohio, and I'm going to scan through some of this. She moved 11 times, once and lived in an Amish community. That's good to know. Okay, Amish. Okay, her father died of AIDS when he was 45. HECHE said her father raped her and gave her genital herpes when she was 12 in 1985. Oh my goodness. So this is already telling us that something is wrong with this childhood, right? Okay. Now, goodness gracious, what? Okay, so she was raised in Ocean City, New Jersey. Her father died of AIDS when he was 45. HECHE said her father raped her. I'm sorry, I don't know how to talk on here. Okay, gave her genital herpes when she was 12 in 1985. She moved to Chicago, where she went to high school in 1987. She was offered a role in a soap opera, As the World Turns. So, however, her mother wanted her to graduate high school before starting her career. A few months before she graduated high school, she was cast in the soap opera Another World. So she graduated and then she went to go do that thing, right? Her sister Cynthia died of a heart defect in infancy. Her brother Nathan died in a car crash at age 18 in June 1983. Her sister Susan Bergman died age 48 in January 2006. Okay, well, we already know it's some occultic things following her leading into Hollywood. So let's just move forward because Satan knows how to pick his people. And I'm just going to say that starting off. Okay, so, all right. Okay, God bless everybody uh who subscribed, okay? The trolls and whatever else. All right? But I'm Jesus Christ, okay? So because he's the truth. That's why. And so relationship with Anne Hetch. I'm looking at the comments, y'all. I'm thinking that's what somebody's asking me or something. Okay, but we ain't gonna be distracted because we want to see this video. We want to break it down. We want to see, okay, because there was something suspicious, and we already know how Hollywood move. We already know they got the henchmen out there, and we got the powers that be, and things of this nature, and we already know that a lot of the celebrities are a part of the CIA operations, so we know this, right? So her relationships, and then we're gonna cut through all this, but just for some people who don't know like her history, because I didn't know her history either. Like, I didn't know she had brothers and, a family, like who was her family and, okay. So, now, Anne Hetch, same-sex relationship with comedian Ellen DeGeneres, and the events following their breakup became subjects of widespread media interest, right? And we all know Ellen DeGeneres is large, humongous in the industry, right? So it wouldn't be far-fetched that she would be a gatekeeper. You know what I'm trying to say? So look, the couple started dating in 1997. At one point, they said they would get a civil union, right? So if it became legal in Vermont. Hold on, guys. Somebody is knocking at my door. I'm on live. Y'all, it is my neighbor. I apologize. She has to wait. They broke up in August 2000. Hetch has said that all of her relationships have been with men. I'm completely thrown off. I apologize. You can't. I'm on live. Somebody's knocking at my door. Okay. After the split, Hetch began dating cameraman Coley LaFoon. They married on September 1st, 2001. I just feel tickled. I just want to laugh, right? I just want to bust out. I'm sorry, you guys. I can't even keep a straight face. Their son, Homer, was born on March 2nd, 2002. LaFoon filed for divorce on February 2nd, 2007. Hetch lost custody of their son in June 2007. Hetch left her husband for Men in Trees co-star James Tupper. The couple reportedly moved in together in August 2007. And I don't care about the rest of this stuff. So let's get on with it. All right. Oh, but wait. They're saying that Hetch, well, it's here that she had psychological problems. On August 19th, 2000, Hetch drove from Los Angeles to Cantua Creek, a rural area outside Fresno, California. She parked her Toyota SUV along a dusty roadside, wearing only a bra and shorts. Hetch walked 1.5 miles through the desert before knocking on the door of a stranger's ranch house. Okay, that's very suspicious, right? Okay, so this maybe is the start of her psychological problems. When the home's resident, Araceli Campus, opened the door, she knew Hetche from the movie. I mean, what did I say, Hetche? Hetch, I just don't like her last name. So we'll say she knew Anne. We'll say Anne, right? We'll call her Anne, y'all. But they talking about Anne Hetch, the star, right? From the movie 6 Days, 7 Nights. Bemused at first, campus grew uneasy when Anne showed up, no sign of leaving. I didn't know what to do, campus said. So I called the sheriff's department. When deputies arrived, Anne told them that she was God and was going to take everyone back to heaven in a spaceship, according to a police report that was aired on NBC. The deputies called an ambulance and went 50 miles to Fresno's University Medical Center, from which she was released after a few hours. Now, Anne said that she was insane for the first 31 years of her life. She said this was due to the trauma of being sexually abused by her father, y'all. This is what she's saying. During her infancy and childhood. So how did this continue to go on, right? As a result of this trauma, Anne also said she had multiple personality disorder. Oh, she had multiple personality disorder. So, and she made it to Hollywood. Yeah, they was really messing with her, allegedly. She made an alter ego named Celestia. Wow. An alien from another planet who could speak to God and was the half sister of Jesus Christ. Oh, I ain't never heard none of this. Right? Have y'all heard of this? I ain't heard of this, right? And said that the incident in Cantuca Creek snapped her out of her insanity and put her alter ego behind her. Whoa. Now, the car crash and the death. Okay, and this is what we're going to go into. But first she hit a garage and then an apartment complex and then ending in a fiery crash that left her severely burned in the hospital. And let's see what else that they said about this crash. Okay, she was in critical condition after the accident. And on August 7th, she was in stable condition. The next day, however, Anne was in a coma because of major lung and brain injuries. Anne had cocaine in her system at the time of her car crash. Did y'all know that? Or this is what they are saying, right? On August 12th, 2022, her family confirmed that Anne was brain dead and on life support. Her family said that they would remove her life support when they find out if they can donate her organs. And you know they got trafficking in the business. Like, I don't want to say it, but y'all know what I want to say. You know, they got the sex trafficking. They got the organ harvesting. All right, okay. Remember those dreams? I had a dream about organ harvesting. I told y'all about that. No bueno. By California law, Anne died on August 11th. That's my son's birthday. Because she was brain dead. Her life support was removed on August 14th. Okay, y'all. Now, it sounds legit, right? But hold on. We gonna take a snap back in the past. Hold on. Let's see. We're gonna take a snap back in the past. We're going to take a snap back, folks. Let's see what's going on here. Let me see. Hold on, guys. I'm going to pull it up for you. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay, hold on, folks. We're going to take a look. Hold on.
3 decades, horribly injured in a devastating vehicle crash in California. The accident happened mid-morning Friday. HECHE was driving her blue... A California home completely destroyed, and a Hollywood actress left fighting for her life. Anne Heche, the Emmy Award-winning television and film star with a career spanning 3 decades, horribly injured in a devastating vehicle crash in California. The accident happened mid-morning Friday. Heche was driving her blue Mini Cooper in the Mar Vista area of Los Angeles' west side.
Do y'all
believe she collided into this home, sparking 2 fires.
It erupted into flames, so not just the vehicle, but the entire home, to where we had to fight a structure fire at the same time.
It took nearly 60 firefighters more than an hour to extinguish the flames. The tenant living inside the home was there during the crash, but was not seriously injured. HECHE was the only person in the vehicle. Neighbors who tried to help her still traumatized by what they saw.
It just seemed like an eternity. Before the firefighters had the fire out, I was convinced she was 100% passed away. It was just awful. And I had left her there in the car. And then, of course, we all saw her sit up in the stretcher and know that there was some hope.
David Manpearl jumped into action, trying to save HECHE and the woman in that house who lost all her belongings in the fire.
She was barefoot and had nothing, no personal items whatsoever.
HECHE is reportedly in critical condition, hospitalized on a ventilator with burns that require surgical intervention. She's still in a coma, having not regained consciousness. Meanwhile, police are investigating the Hollywood star for a possible DUI. And they're looking at this footage obtained by TMZ as part of their investigation. What appears to be a blue Mini Cooper seen nearly hitting a pedestrian and driving away. Then bumping into a
That was a lie.
zooming down the street. A cell phone video capturing this car driving at high speeds near the site of the crash. Police are also examining this Ring camera video,
Hold
which
on,
appears
guys.
to show HECHE's
I didn't mean to
vehicle
do that.
speeding by a
My
neighborhood
bad.
just seconds before the crash.
Hold on. Let me fix
Investigators obtaining a warrant and drawing blood from
But that
HECHE as
other
they look
part-
into whether drugs or alcohol played a role in the crash.
that. That other part, I apologize.
Very
Here we go.
pragmatic about this whole thing.
Oh, come on. What is going on? I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Hold on.
And landed starring roles in films like Donnie Brasco.
What's the deal here?
And
I just want to rewind
bumping
it for
into
you
a
guys.
garage and zooming down the street. A cell phone video capturing this car driving at high speeds near the site of the crash. Police are also examining this Ring camera video, which appears to show HECHE's vehicle speeding by a neighborhood just seconds before the crash. Investigators obtaining a warrant and drawing blood from HECHE as they look into whether drugs or alcohol played a role in the crash.
Could
I am
be.
being very pragmatic about this whole thing.
Anne Heche rose to prominence on the NBC soap Another World, where she won a Daytime Emmy.
I pretend you're dead.
And landed starring roles in films like Donnie Brasco
What's the deal here?
and 6 Days, 7 Nights.
With us?
In the late 90s, Heche became tabloid fodder for her high-profile 3-year relationship with Ellen DeGeneres, and an equally high-profile breakup and public breakdown. Her famous ex telling the Daily Mail yesterday, "I don't want anyone to be hurt." Throughout the years, Heche has publicly and privately battled her share of scandals and struggles. In 2001, during an exclusive interview with ABC's Barbara Walters, Anne opened up in piercing detail about the trials and turmoils of her youth.
I think everything I've done in all my insanity was trying to get my parents to love me. My father loved movie stars. I decided I needed to become famous to get his love. My mother loved Jesus. That was her thing. So I wanted to become Jesus Christ. I wanted to save the world to get her love. I went to the utmost of extremes.
Alleging at that time sexual abuse at the hands of her father as a child.
I believe I was sexually abused by my father from the time I was a very young girl, actually before I could speak.
And revealing her own mental health and substance abuse struggles through her early life via her 2001 memoir, Call Me Crazy.
I did a lot of things in my life to get away from what had happened to me. I drank, I smoked, I did drugs, I had sex with people. I did anything I could to get the shame out of my life.
And telling Walters about her troubling personality swings.
You, Anne Heche, think you are Jesus, and you take the name Celestia. Did you really think you were Jesus?
Absolutely. That's the thing about going crazy. You are absolutely aware, at least I was, that I was Anne Heche, an actress. I had friends. There were people who would think I was crazy if I was ever going to talk about this. And at the same time, I'm hearing God talk to me saying, you are basically from heaven.
But despite pain and heartache,
That is
Heche's
not the same
comeback has
thing.
been strong. The actor has had recurring roles in the series Chicago PD and All Rise, and was a 2020 contestant on Dancing with the Stars. She's also set to star in an HBO series with pop stars Troye Sivan and The Weeknd. We're better together. More recently, HECHE has been hosting a podcast, Better Together, with best friend Heather Duffy, getting candid about their own stories of tragedy and triumph. But HECHE says she was drinking while recording her last episode just 3 days before the crash.
They sent us vodka, and we are
drinking it.
Their advice. Although, if you look to the side, you might see
with wine chasers. Today has been a very unique day. I don't know what happened. Sometimes days just suck. And I don't know if you ever have them, but you know, some days Mama says are just going to be like this.
Today, HECHE's oldest son, 20-year-old Homer, visiting his mother in the hospital. Meanwhile, investigators continue to piece together what happened and assess the catastrophic damage caused by the crash. Those who followed Anne Heche for decades are hoping she pulls through.
Well, she didn't. And that was quite much crazy, right? And then how they publicized it on TV, that's what made it look suspicious, right? Because of the crash, right? We're going to see that crash again, but I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, do you guys believe that allegedly, like, the powers that be had something to do with that? Like, you know, they were just like, you know, that was Ellen DeGeneres' lady, and that was her sacrifice, you know? So I don't know, because I really didn't hear too much on it again. Did you guys? I didn't hear too much on this after that incident. But come to find out, the lady has had a lot of trauma in her life, and that's just weird. Her father doing all those things to her, and then he eventually died, but however, like, he wasn't held accountable for that. And then her mother was around too, and so I don't know, she was just saying how she had to get away from him. And then, you know, it was just like one thing after the other with her, and she already felt crazy. So, you know, she was saying, so is this how they accepted her into Hollywood? Or I wonder, like, exactly what was the gap, like, because you just don't jump into Hollywood, like, you know what I'm trying to say? And then I wonder, was she inducted into the Hall of Fame? Like, you know, I wonder, does she have a star? Because if she did, then that says a lot too, because we know the industry, they don't let one of theirs go. It does not matter. And she was a producer, she was an actress, so she had a promising career, and she really had a lot going on. And you know, she was in Los Angeles, is where, you know, this accident took place that took her life. And it was just tragic, you know, how she went out. And we're going to show that clip again. I was trying to show these other clips, but hold on. Let's see right fast. Let's hold on. I want to see this right fast. Hold on. I don't want the commercial. I don't want to get us here, but hold on. Here we go.
First met actress Anne Heche at the Vanity Fair Oscars party in 1997. It was basically love at first sight for the two Hollywood stars. They started dating very soon after the event. At the time of the party, DeGeneres had yet to publicly come out, but she made the big announcement just days later. The couple certainly experienced their fair share of controversy. They were the most famous LGBTQ couple in Hollywood, at a time when such things were practically unheard of. Reportedly, DeGeneres had a much harder time with the situation than Heche ever did. The talk show host told the Los Angeles Times in 2001, "I didn't want to hold hands. I had never done that in public. And yet there was this attitude of, you know, you're going to be on the cover of Time magazine and say you're gay, but you're not going to hold hands? You deserve to hold hands as much as Tom and Nicole, or Tom and Rita. So I have to take responsibility for participating in that." Their romance ultimately didn't last. They called it quits 3.5 years into the relationship. According to ABC News, their romance ended in late summer 2000, just weeks after they were seen house hunting in LA and looking as happy as ever. So what went wrong exactly? At the time, the official statement HECHE DeGeneres released read like this: "Unfortunately, we have decided to end our relationship. It is an amicable parting, and we greatly value the 3.5 years we have spent together. We hope."
And you know what I wondered too? I wonder, like, I don't have anything against, the gay, except that I'm with Jesus Christ and we're against the sin. But what I'm trying to say is, I wonder, like, what percentage of Hollywood, like, ladies is, like, gay. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Because it seems like when they get into Hollywood is when they actually claim to come out, or they go that way. So I'm just wondering, like, what did she do, Anne Heche, that is, before, Ellen DeGeneres? And Ellen DeGeneres is a gatekeeper. So did she stop her from getting the rest of her roles? I wonder, because she was a very prominent star. It had looked like, before she met Ellen, but they were saying that it was a breakdown after she had left, and, like, maybe perhaps some doors closing. Let's continue.
Everyone will respect our privacy through this difficult time. Meanwhile, a source told ABC News that the relationship had simply run its course. Nothing more, nothing less. But in 2001, DeGeneres told the Los Angeles Times that the split had sent her reeling. As she put it, "HECHE walked out the door, and I haven't spoken to her since. I don't have the answers. I would love to have them myself. I would ask all of the questions that everyone else wants to ask. I'm left with everybody else wondering what happened. I don't know. I really don't. I feel betrayed." DeGeneres told the newspaper that this was the first time that she'd ever had her heart broken. She claimed she didn't feel any sense of closure at all. All these years later, neither DeGeneres nor HECHE have revealed what really went wrong in the relationship. The day after the couple publicly announced their split, HECHE reportedly started acting rather strange and erratic, according to InStyle. She showed up at the door of a stranger's home and had an emotional breakdown, requesting a shower and declaring herself God. The homeowner called the authorities, and HECHE was hospitalized.
Now, what y'all hearing, this is what really happened. Like, even though I know it's like we're watching whatever we're watching. I don't know, I guess one of her films or whatever, but okay. But are you listening? Like, what they're saying, that they're telling you the incidents that she had. Like, this is real. Her incidents that she had, like her, what do you call it? Like breakdowns, or when you go 5150 or something like that. Listen, like, this is really what's going on. It's taking place.
In 2001, HECHE
Listen.
had an emotional breakdown, requesting a shower and declaring herself God. The homeowner called the authorities, and HECHE was hospitalized. In 2001, HECHE opened up about her relationship with DeGeneres in an interview with Barbara Walters, claiming that she had mental issues. And these issues apparently came from a history of abuse at the hands of her father. She also said that the trauma caused her to compartmentalize herself into two separate personalities. The other personality was apparently named Celestia.
What could I do when I was Celestia? I spoke a different language. I spoke a different language that God and I spoke.
She told Walters, "I'm not crazy, but it's a crazy life. I was raised in a crazy family, and it took 31 years to get the crazy out of me." She claims her troubled past led to her mental breakdown after her relationship with DeGeneres ended. But she also fondly...
So I wonder if she had spirits mimicking Christianity. Like, you know how we have the Father and we have the Holy Spirit, because she thought that she was God. And then she said she had spirits telling her she was from God. And then you heard what she said. She spoke another language, like, how us Christians, or believers of Christ that have the Holy Spirit, we speak tongues. So I'm like what was going on with her, right? Okay. Or did Hollywood tear her down and do something to her to make her like, and then look at the father. Okay, what was going on with you, sir? Like she said she was being molested from since childhood. Since babyhood. She said infancy. So that sounds very occultic to me. But let's go. Let's move on.
Reminisced about the relationship too. In regards to the night she first met DeGeneres, HECHE said, her name was Ellen DeGeneres. She was radiating. I think at certain times in people's lives, you just radiate an energy and a glow of fabulousness. And that was her. I had never seen anybody so lit up. After the breakup, HECHE didn't publicly date another woman. And DeGeneres was reportedly the first woman HECHE had ever dated in her life. In fact, she told Barbara Walters.
See, that's what I'm. And then look, I don't want to put my little 2 cents in, but my allegedly my conspiracy. Ding, 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 my light bulbs is going off, right? I'm thinking that, like I said, I know what I said. What I said, folks. Ellen DeGeneres is a gatekeeper. She's like a like Diddy's distant cousin, but on the other aspect, you know what I'm trying to say? She's on the other spectrum, if you understand what I'm saying. If you understand what I mean. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Like, she's on the other aspect of things. So, did you hear what they said? That Anne Heche was not that way. She was not GA until she got with Ellen. So we know Ellen is big. She's been to the white parties. She's been to the parties, okay? So I'm saying, who's to say that she isn't on the spectrum gatekeeper, right? Are you guys getting this? Let's listen. Is y'all listening?
That DeGeneres was the first woman she'd ever slept with, saying that, I felt cared for. I felt free to express a part of me that I had not been able to express with a man. I felt sensuous and sexual the way I hadn't before. At the time, HECHE was married to cameraman Coleman Coley LaFoon, but she told Walters that she wasn't limiting who she loved, quipping that, you fall in love with a person, not a sex. HECHE later went on to date and have a child with actor James Tupper, and they were together until 2018. Nevertheless, HECHE clearly isn't interested in putting a label on her sexuality. As she told Barbara Walters, I would never limit myself to saying I would be with a man or a woman. Following their breakup, DeGeneres moved on too. She dated actress and photographer Alexandra Hedison for a bit before ultimately settling down with Arrested Development.
Hey, don't they all say that though? You know what? It's so funny because it's almost like I remember the other day when I was listening to one of Clive Davis's videos, and this was a while back when he came out, and then he was just like, like basically like what she said, like he trying to soak his oats, and he wants to be fluid, and I don't know. Do these people practice the same lines? You get what I'm trying to say? That's just so funny to me. Okay, so listen to that again, but let's continue. This is her exploration onto the other side, same sex, her, because I forgot what you call it when they want to get married, but okay, whatever, come on.
And star Portia, a woman. Following their breakup, DeGeneres moved on too. She dated actress and photographer Alexandra Hedison for a bit before ultimately settling down with Arrested Development star Portia de Rossi in 2004. They've been together ever since. Check out one of our newest videos right here.
Okay.
Plus,
so hold on, that video's over, but we're talking about Anne Heche and what happened to her. That was the part with her with Ellen DeGeneres. Her relationship, the break, the how she was going insane at the time, and then she goes into her childhood with the abuse with her father, which I did not know, and she just had a whole life of trauma, right? And then after all of that, this horrible accident that she got into, it's like, Hollywood for what they are, but then you try to think, like, could this have, was this foul play? Because it seems like they threw her into the dang, like, like, I don't know, it just it seemed kind of staged to me. So Let me see what video this is, but it just seems staged, guys, to me. Okay. Did we see this video already? Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, with the father. I mean, not the father, but the neighbor. Some neighbor tried to get her out. Hold on, guys. What do you guys think about Anne Heche? Like, I don't know. It's like when I saw that video, it was so crazy, right? Like, it was very crazy. Like, it was too crazy. And then while I'm on here making this video with you guys for entertainment purposes only, we have the weed blower people out there. So they're making noise and trouble for us. Okay, let me see if I can play this one, right? Let's see.
You will learn new developments into that car crash in Los Angeles, and as the driver by TMZ and Fox 11 out there in Los Angeles identified as Anne Heche. Let's take a look one more time at that video that we saw earlier this afternoon of a car going into a house taking place there out in Mar Vista.
House of Preston, and car slammed.
As we can see the helicopter video there of the car in the house, you can see firefighters on the scene there taking that car out from the house. Fox 11 in Los Angeles said the driver went into that house and sparked a fire. Firefighters were on the scene just before 11 a.m. on the West Coast. A car, a Mini Cooper, you can see there, went through the house, causing a massive fire. Within an hour, the firefighters, LAFD, had eventually pulled the car out of your home. You can see it was towed out of the home there. Firefighters still looking in the car to find possible survivors. The driver was rescued, as you'll see in this next little clip we're going to transition to real quick. They were taken to the hospital, as you can see there, in a hurry to get out of that car that crashed into that home. They were worried about the structural damage of that home as it was built in the 1950s, and you can see the house give way a little bit there. In the house, so they were concerned about that, and also concerned about the person, the driver, who was identified as Anne Heche. You probably know the name from TV and movies, from 6 Days, 7 Nights, Donnie Brasco, Wag the Dog, Volcano, a bunch of movies. And there is a dramatic moment there just before being put into the ambulance to take to the hospital. That driver was identified as Anne Heche. You can see we slowed it down a little bit for you as firefighters were trying to help this woman get the help that she needed from the hospital as she crashed into this house, and the fire, like you heard just me say a little bit ago, they were trying to put that out. Of course, we are still trying to track down some details on how that happened and why it happened, and an update on Anne Heche as well. But the details right now are that driver, identified by TMZ, is Anne Heche, the actress. It was sparked a fire, and they pulled her out from the vehicle after pulling the car out from the house, and they tried to get her the medical attention she needed as she went to the hospital. You can see again one more time.
It just looks fake to me. Watch.
Is on the gurney there and tries to get up before going in the ambulance, but firefighters get her in the ambulance and take her to a nearby hospital.
And then why did they have her? And then she was naked.
In the ambulance and take her to a nearby hospital.
No, that looked real crazy.
Just this afternoon in Mar Vista, in Los Angeles, and this is of course courtesy Fox 11, the helicopter there, as they were on the scene throughout this ordeal. As they were there trying to get the car out, also putting out a fire. So doing a lot of different things there.
I want to see it again.
And take her to a nearby hospital. She needed as she went to the hospital. You can see again one more time. She is on the gurney there and tries to get up before going in the ambulance, but firefighters get her in the ambulance and take her to a nearby hospital. Just this afternoon.
Hold on, one more time.
She
This ain't funny though.
is on the gurney there and tries to get up before going in the ambulance, but firefighters get her in the ambulance and take her to a nearby hospital. Just this afternoon.
I just don't put nothing past Hollywood. And I'm sorry, y'all, I'm eating Skittles. I don't put nothing past Hollywood. I don't put nothing past, I don't want to say the media. Just because, you know, the celebrities and the stars, we know that they're their own and they had a number, but I'm just trying to say. And she was prominent. She was definitely in the industry. I'm pretty sure that if you search her name, I almost want to bet on it that she has a star, you know, like, you know, that she's inducted, you know. So she was producing and she was acting. So she was very prominent and she was with one of the biggest celebrities in the world, in the entertainment business as well, as well known as we know Ellen DeGeneres, right? So I'm just like trying to say, like, if I want to put my conspiracy hat on, right? I'm like, did something happen? That's only because I haven't done my research, you know, on her. But that is that's some real work, how they showed her thing like that. And then it was like a movie. You see how she was like, you know, like she was jumping up out of there, out of the thing. So I'm like, if somebody's alive, why are you pushing their head down back in and throwing them into the, like, I don't understand. Like, it would seem like they would bring it out to like resuscitate, not push her in, and then everybody jump in, and then everybody smash off and drive away, right? And I don't know. I don't know if your body could react like that after a car accident. And I'm pretty sure that, you know, people that are in the morgue, or not in the morgue, but people like a mortician, I'm pretty sure they have stories that they can tell us on how people there. It's not the real people, but, you know, well, it is real people, but I'm trying to say like their nerves or whatever's in your body to make you jump after death or after trauma. But that was just real weird how she was jumping to get up out of that bag, and they had her like that. Like, you know, let's one more time, folks. Let me see this. Let me see this one more time. You guys tell me, because this is gonna be it.
Car out from the house, and they tried to get her the medical attention she needed as she went to the hospital. You can see again one more time.
Yeah, one more time, sir.
Is on the gurney there and tries to get up before going in the ambulance, but firefighters get her in the ambulance and take her to a nearby hospital just this afternoon.
And then look at the police. Look at that
in Los Angeles.
Hold on. I want you guys to zoom in on something, because you guys got to know about symbolism regarding the, you know, the powers that be. But what is 3 plus 6? Okay, that is 9. Flip it upside down. What do you have? A 6. And then also, let me take you guys to another instance. Why am I seeing that right now too? But like, if you look at the clock, 6 and a 3. But I'm saying, look at the symbolism. I believe that there's something very suspicious that happened to Miss Anne, because remember, the powers that be, they speak in symbolism. So they speak in signs and symbols. But they have it in your face. This is how they tell. And let's just watch it one more time, just because now I'm starting to see
again
stuff.
one more time. She is on the gurney there and tries to get up before going in the ambulance, but firefighters get her in the ambulance and take her to a nearby hospital just this afternoon in Mar Vista. in Los Angeles. And this is, of course, courtesy Fox 11, the helicopter there, as they were on the scene throughout this ordeal, as they were there trying to get the car out, also putting out a fire. So doing a lot of different things there in Los Angeles. We'll keep you updated on Live Now from Fox as we get more details on all of that, as Anne Heche was pulled out of the house and pulled out of the car and taken to a hospital there in Los Angeles.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's not far-fetched because you have to know the signs and the symbols of how they speak. And, you know, we're talking about the powers that be. And I can't help it but to lean on to say that this was, you know, it was time for her. It was her number. You know, these contracts and stuff that these actors and that these celebrities are under is what determines your destiny. And she went out a fiery, horrible way. Like they burnt her up. Like, is that how they take you out? But that's how they took her out. Like, you know, that's how. And then they try to say it was fueled by drugs. They always say that, and it could as well as be she was cuckoo. She said she was kind of cray. She you know, she said, like, you know, because of everything that she had been through. So it's not far-fetched, right? It's neither here nor there. So I guess that's it. And Heche, if you guys have anything to say, if you guys know about Miss Anne Heche and any information surrounding her death, but I just think it was another industry death. I think it was the powers that be. You know, she was young and she was out there, and her growing up in a childhood the way that she did, going to Hollywood was not in her best interest. You get what I'm trying to say? That's what I really want to say with all the stuttering and all of the you know, what I was doing earlier, you know, lost for words. But the words that I want to say is just that it's not far-fetched. She wasn't better than anybody else. I'm saying in Hollywood, they all go out the same way according to their destiny, with the one whom they worship. And you already know, up in the industry, like, you know, I don't know if she has a star, you know, if she was inducted into the Walk of Hall of Fame or whatever they put you in LA, but she was definitely a candidate. So I want to say that she was. So she was in Lucifer's hands, you know. And that's probably, you know, probably a little bit more of her downfall as she got up into Hollywood, because, you know, Hollywood, they worship a lot of different deities, and it's like a melting pot for spiritism. So, you know, whatever she was in, you know, she wasn't grounded, and her life was spiraling out of control. And who's to say that she wasn't a raged woman that day and got drunk and got on drugs and went and sped off 100 miles per hour down residential streets and crashed in the house, blew up with her in it, like, you know, with the car, boom, you know, is what they showed us. But it was just so crazy. I feel as though I see the symbolism there with the 3 and the 6 and the 6 and the 9, right? And how she was trying to get up out of that, what do you call that, coroner bag that they put you in? Because didn't they have her in a coroner bag? So it's like they deemed her dead on arrival or whatever. They had her in a bag. She ripped up out of a bag, didn't she? So I don't know. That's why we watched it a few times. So I might have to go back and watch it again. But Anne Heche, God bless her. And you know, I don't know what the moral of this story is. It's just tragic, is what I'm saying. So make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe for more content like this at More on the Prophecy 597. And does anybody have anything to say about this star, this fallen star, before we get out of here? And I'll be back too. Okay, so make sure you guys hit a thumbs up. But Anne Heche, you know, it just seemed crazy how her demise was. You know, we all do not grow up and hope that when we pass that we go out like that. So it's just real tragic. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just always wonder because of how they put that on there on TV. It was crazy. So yeah. Can you guys still see me? Okay, so God bless you guys. I'll be back. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Go look through the playlist for the videos, entertainment, and whatever else that you want to look at. Okay, God bless. Peace. Thank you. We're on good timing. Shalom.